All right, we're here. All right, welcome back, everybody, to another issue of the Geekdom podcast, number 17. And I'm Joseph, your host, once again joined this week by Nate. Nate, how you doing this week, buddy?
Pretty good. That intro is pretty fire.
Yeah, I
I
know.
just gotta say.
Yeah, that's Nitro Fun song, new game. So everybody should check that out whenever they get some time. Very nice looking.
Yeah,
Very nice.
Monster Cat's amazing.
All right, but yeah, so oh damn, that's really bright.
Woo.
I started to glow there for a second, everybody. But yeah, we're back again this week to talk about everything important and nerdy to us. And this week, we're going to start out with it sounds like we're going to get E3 back this year.
Yep.
And
Looking that way.
the show notes would cooperate. And there we go. Yeah, so it's coming back as an online only event this year. Um, which is great. But yeah, it'll be a little awkward. It'll be interesting to see who exactly participates.
Right. And I don't know. You say which is great about an online only event. I mean, I understand we're still in a pandemic, but like online only just doesn't bring the hype to me as a real con does, you know? So
Yeah, understand that. But yeah, it's just one of those unfortunate realities of the world we currently live in.
no, I mean I get it. I just hope cons don't really try to go this way for every con, even when we're out of this shithole.
Yeah, no, yeah, I understand that completely. But it's not like Nintendo has been doing it digitally for like 5 years now.
Yeah, they have.
So it's just it feels like everybody else is just coming around to where Nintendo is, and yeah.
But
Sorry, I
it's
was really thirsty.
I don't blame you. No, but it's supposed to kick off June 15th, right?
Yes, June 15th, which is I think about a week later than what E3 would actually usually start.
Yeah, I believe so.
But like I said, EA does their own thing now. Xbox does their own press conference now. PlayStation does their own thing. Nintendo does their own thing. You know,
Right.
but there was a lot of people that had press conferences planned for last year that were just flat out canceled and never done. Like Activision was actually going to hold their own press conference for stuff last year. That tells me that they
Mm-hmm.
just held on to a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Uh, what you call it? Warner Brothers, who hadn't done a press conference in 7 or 8 years, was going to have a press conference. I believe they were going to show off the Harry Potter game and the Batman game and the Suicide Squad game, you know, and a couple of other little things. I wouldn't be surprised if there's another Shadow of Mordor game out there somewhere. And
I'd be fine with that.
yeah, I'd be fine with that too. But yeah, it's just hopefully yeah, it'd be weird without seeing all. We'll probably get to see as many of the interviews and stuff we do during this time, and
Right.
some of the smaller press conferences. I know a lot of people really like the Devolver press conference. I
Mm-hmm.
personally don't get big into it, but it'll just be another one of those things where it should be fun.
Yeah. I mean, I think it'll be all right. At least it gives people who tried to have some sort of announcements and shit another chance and a big stage to do it on.
Hmm.
So I think there'll be some. I don't know. It's hard to say who will be interested and who won't be interested to partake. So
Yeah,
I guess we'll just have to wait and see a lineup.
yeah, exactly. Like I imagine about April. Yeah, sometime in April we should really start hearing to be like, hey, these people are going to be at E3, and hey, this person's going to be at E3, and oh my God, did you hear this person's going to be at E3? What have they been working on? We didn't even know what they were working on, you know?
Yeah, I'd say at least you'll have like really big names by April.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But our next bit of news this week is so Activision had their quarterly call
mhm.
this week, and in it, they basically said that there would be Blizzard isn't releasing anything this year.
Yep.
that Overwatch 2 is delayed and Diablo 4 is delayed.
Yep.
And, both of those were promised for this year, and, you
Yep.
know, doesn't sound like that's going to happen. So, which is, unfortunate for people that were. I'd be interested to see what an Overwatch 2 does for that game. Because it sounds like, from what they talked about originally, you didn't even have to buy Overwatch 2 to play. They wanted to keep the community so together that people from Overwatch 1 would also be playing with people from Overwatch 2 because all those characters are being carried over.
Right. No. It would. I was more excited for Diablo 4 than Overwatch.
And I've watched you guys play a lot of Diablo 4. I've played some Diablo 4 a little bit. But I never enjoyed Diablo 4. Listen to me, Diablo 3. Yeah, because we live in the future.
We
Uh,
do.
uh
2022, that is.
yeah, if we're lucky. And
Right.
but the most fun I've actually ever had with that game was playing it on my Switch
Yeah.
and doing it couch co-op on PlayStation 4. It
Um,
plays very differently on consoles than it does on PC. Movement is very different thing, but
um,
it's be interesting to see what happens with it when it's all said and done.
I'm excited for them to redeem themselves, essentially, because Diablo 3 got a lot of backlash, for a lot of things.
Hmm.
Um, Plus, I just like Diablo games, so,
Yeah,
um,
you like that
but
style of game in general.
I do. But I don't know. It's a super big disappointment to me personally. Um, Blizzard's had some ups and downs, but most of the time they kind of perform on what they say. They've been one of those companies. Um,
Mhm.
but delaying a whole year is rough.
Yeah, yeah,
At minimum, a whole year.
yeah, minimum.
So, mm,
Yeah. But more news from the Activision call this week is that more remasters are on the way.
yes.
Which I meant to sit down before the show and look at the other stuff that Activision could remaster. I don't think they'll go for like they've already gotten the good Spyros and the good Crashes and Crash Team Racing, and like I could see them relaunching some franchises. There's been rumors that they're going to relaunch Skylanders
Mm-hmm.
in a very different way, and I would be all about that. And maybe along with the announcement of, hey, we're relaunching the series, not doing the toys to life aspects of it, doing the game comes with so many characters,
Right.
and you can buy characters as like DLCs or something like that.
Um, don't didn't they have a hand in the OG Spider-Mans?
Yes, yes, that was Activision, and also Tony Hawk, which they remastered 1 and 2.
Right.
Maybe they would do 3 and 4 together because thematically 3 and 4 still work together too. It'd be
Mm-hmm.
weird for them to do like 4 and American Wasteland, like those two don't go together.
Right. But I don't know. I remasters of OG Spider-Man sounds amazing to me.
Yeah,
That
I guess that it would depend on Sony's involvement at that
Yep.
point. Like, they would probably have to be PlayStation 5 exclusive or PlayStation 4 or 5 exclusive.
I don't have a problem with that. I'm
Nah,
just
I
saying.
don't either. I don't either. I'm just saying, for that to happen, that's probably how that's going to go. And I've known, for like I've known for almost a year now that Modern Warfare 3 is being remastered, and it will be a Sony exclusive because Sony paid for it. Like
Right.
Sony is the reason it got made.
And it should be.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because Sony, uh, they they went ahead and they remastered Modern Warfare 2
Mm-hmm.
without the online, which a lot of people were upset about, but what. And whenever they did that, Sony, they went to Sony to get a licensing deal, and Sony was like, "Well, what about the third one? Are you going to do the third one?" And they're like, yeah, we haven't really thought. They were like, well, we'll pay for the third one if you give us
Mm-hmm.
the exclusive. Give us so many months exclusivity on the second one, and give us exclusivity on the third one. Like it's not hard. It's not rocket science to figure out. Like anybody in their right mind would do that. Like that's just how it is.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's good business.
Yeah.
Like that's smart business.
Yeah. I just. Sorry, I know everybody can hear that. I'm on loud keyboard duty. Uh, what franchises does Activision own? Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, technically they own Blizzard too, so that they could remaster, old Blizzard stuff. Uh,
I see. I don't know about that.
our iconic franchises, Activision. Oh yeah, Call of Duty, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro. Technically they own Sekiro, Candy Crush, Diablo, Tony Hawk, World of Warcraft, Overwatch, StarCraft, Purple Witch Saga. I guess that's mobile. Mobile. Yeah, yeah, no. Like it's either gonna have to be a remaster of the original StarCraft.
Wait,
Hmm.
they own Tenchu?
Yeah, yeah, they own Tenchu. That could be something they do.
Do that, please. Like, ooh, I would love a fucking remake or remaster of this game.
Oh, they also own the rights to Pitfall. Call of Duties, Skylanders. Uh, hmm. It says here that they were the publisher on Doom 3.
Yeah, I seen that.
I wonder if DJ Hero that's not coming back. Tony
It
Hawk.
should. It was a fun game.
Prototype, maybe. They actually are Ultimate Doom in 1993. They also published that.
Prototype's a really good game.
Huh. Well, that's yeah. So it'd be interesting to see what they do. I should. Oh my god, everything was so white on my side. Let's see here. But yeah, that's you know, hopefully something good comes out of it, and I would fully expect them to, I hope they relaunch Skylanders. Is the best way I could say it. As somebody who really enjoyed those games and owns like 100+ Skylanders at this point, you know.
Right. I never got into that, but
Yeah, yeah. Me and Chris got into it with the second one because of Total Biscuit, and it became an addiction for a couple of games for us. Like we,
I mean, it
and
happens.
yeah, I mean, like for me and him, it was for a couple of games. For me, it was all the way to the end of the franchise. Like I own all the games.
Hmm.
But
Okay.
yeah. So my brain just shut down. Our next bit of news this week is oh yeah, Gearbox has been sold to an investment company for $1.34 billion, which is a lot of money.
It is.
A lot of money. But Gearbox is most known for the Borderlands franchise, and yeah, I wonder if this means they're going to branch out into other things now, not do Borderlandsy things. What do they have cooking for this company to be like? Yeah, you're $1.3 billion to us right now.
Right. And it says they're supposed to main like an independent faction inside of them as well,
Yeah,
and that's great
yeah,
for Gearbox.
yeah, absolutely.
Um, so now, like, they don't have to worry about stability.
Yeah,
They have it.
yeah,
So throw money at games, Gearbox. Let's go.
Yeah, but throw better money at your games because sometimes you don't do great at it.
Yeah,
That is all I'm saying.
it happens.
Mm-hmm. Duke Nukem 20th of their games. They show on the featured releases: Duke Nukem 3D, Borderlands 3, and let's see here. Of course, the Borderlands games. I think it's weird that they list that under their games they list Tales from the Borderlands because technically that's a licensed game. They didn't make that. They made the Brothers in Arms games, Duke Nukem, the last two Duke Nukem games. You know, they were part of the early team on the Half-Life games for the console versions. Uh, they worked on Tony Hawk 3, Samba de Amigo, and of course everybody's favorite Battleborn. So, which they just shut. Apparently, they just shut the servers down on it. I thought they shut them down like a year ago.
Right.
Apparently, they just recently did that. So,
well, they had a lot of faith.
I saw an article like the last remaining Battleborn players have a big blowout to celebrate the to celebrate the fact that the servers are going down. It's like,
I don't have to play this terrible game anymore because I'm addicted.
Yeah, basically, they're like, what would we do with our lives now? I'd be like, hey, I don't know if you guys heard of a game that was very similar to this, but better. It was called Overwatch.
Yeah.
It released 3 days after Battleborn did. Maybe you should travel back in time and try that.
Yep.
But,
I never understood why people played that over Overwatch. I never got
well, I
it.
know why a lot of streamers did it that were paid to do it.
Well, yeah, of course, but
yeah. But
I don't know.
yeah, no, it was always weird to me. But our next bit of news is that it has been confirmed that the new Battlefield will be this year.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it a little bit before in the past. You know, it's going to be cross generational. They're hoping for 128 people in a game.
Yep.
Which is such, oh my god! Like I thought 64 was chaos. Like I thought 64 was chaos. This is nothing compared to that. This is insane.
Yeah, and I'm so excited for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I picked out like small quotes from what they said, and supposedly this is going to be on a never before seen scale, which is hard to think about really when you're dropping skyscrapers in 4.
Yeah.
And usher a new generation of Battlefield, which has been needed because the last two, in my opinion, while they have their niche, they're not that fun when it comes to a Battlefield game.
No, it has to be a more modern setting for these Battlefield games. Like it just has to be not futuristic either. Like I'm not looking for pull out a sniper rifle that shoots rockets or anything like that.
Right.
Or, more realistic weaponry. Guns that are actually fun to use.
Right.
Is the biggest thing because a lot of those old timey guns from World War One, World War Two eras were just they weren't fun guns. Like as dumb as that sentence is, like it make you like you just go in, you start shooting them, and you're like, oh, that wasn't fun. You get one of the modern guns, and you're like, ha 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 ha, reload like a normal person. Reload like a normal person, not throw half the gun away in your reload process to.
I mean,
yeah.
But no, I don't like the two newest. I played Battlefield 1 for a little while, and I just can't get into it. I've always been a helicopter guy. So no helicopters, no attack helicopters, and it's killed me both games, but what can you do?
Yeah,
I'm excited.
I'd actually like to go back and play some like yeah.
We can definitely play some 6 when it drops.
No, absolutely.
And the game crashes like it did on 4. Every time the skyscraper falls. Yeah, we can totally do that.
But I mean, four is super cheap on PC. Like it don't cost a lot.
I own it.
I'm pretty sure I do too. I know I own three.
I own 3 as well.
Yeah, no, I own three. So I so rarely log into my EA account. I'm not really sure what I actually own on it. So
Yeah, see, I probably haven't been on mine in 2 or
I
3 years.
I know I own like Peggle and a couple of Battlefield games and Mass Effect 2. Like that's it, probably. Like if I own anything more than that, I would be shocked.
Peggle? Why Peggle?
I like Peggle.
Listen, I judged hard at first. I'm not gonna though.
Yeah, I enjoy it. Sometimes I just want to shoot things at things and watch them bounce off of things. You know, I'm a
With
simple man.
with pretty effects.
Exactly. You know,
Like
when it goes in the hole and everything goes.
and the fireworks happen.
Yeah, yeah,
See,
yeah.
I wouldn't know this if I hadn't played Peggle. So
Yeah, I know exactly.
I
Yeah,
don't know why I
yeah,
judged you.
yeah. You judged me, and I'm like, he knows a lot,
Uh,
like a lot.
I had
But
the I had the demo on an Xbox 360.
but not only this is the weird part. So not only have I played Peggle 1, but I played Peggle 2. I think on my Xbox
Nice.
and my PS4 because I've had EA access on both of them at different times.
It's no, it's a silly little game, but it's fun.
Yeah. But our next bit of news this week is the fact that EA is bringing back college football games.
They've needed to for a while.
You know, I think a lot of that had to do with them being sued by college athletes.
Yep.
And I don't know that they've actually settled that, or they're just finally at the point where it's like, well, we don't put their names in it, so they can just go away.
Yep.
you know, I would be perfectly okay with every player getting the same amount of money. That means it's got to be low end because the kicker that's not going to go play in college got to make the same money as fucking Trevor Lawrence is.
Yep.
That's just how it's got to be. And so it's got to be a small amount of money per player. Like not enough. EA can fork it out. They'll be all right. You know, and then if it comes to it, then they don't get paid until they graduate.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I
Like
wouldn't have a problem with that.
all right, so you're technically in the game for 2 years. We owe you 2 years of the flat residual payment.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
On top of that, I want them to bring college basketball games back.
That would be the one I would play more.
Same.
To be perfectly honest.
I have played NCAA basketball 08
Mhm.
for probably 600 hours. That's no bullshit.
I haven't played, which I think they've been gone for about 5 years, maybe 6 years, something like that. But the last time I played the NCAA football game, Tim Tebow was still at Florida. Like that's how long ago it's been since I played. So yeah, it's just one of those things where I don't play a lot of sports games anymore, so it just didn't appeal to me.
Well, the last NCAA basketball game they made was in 2009.
So that would probably explain a lot.
Yeah,
Probably
makes a
would.
whole lot of sense.
Everything makes more sense now. But I think the last cover athlete was James Robinson from Michigan. Like I'm pretty sure it was a Michigan player on the last cover. Tim Tebow was probably like 3-4 years before that. I would say 2-3 years before that, maybe. Now that I think about it. But yeah, it's good to see them bring that back and have that variety because those games did play very different than the Madden games.
They did, and they played better.
And you also had what I always loved is you had the ability was to play as those players and then import them into Madden as
Yep.
rookies. I always loved that. So if we get all that stuff back, all for it. But
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It's and I'm sure they will. And that'll even expand the playability of Madden games.
Yeah. But our next bit of news is the Mass Effect collection is announced officially, finally. Even though we've known about it since like September,
Yeah.
is officially announced. It's coming to everything, including Switch,
Mm-hmm.
and it comes out May the 14th.
Um, yeah, I'm not super excited about this one.
Uh,
Everybody's already played it, so
yeah. It's just one of those things where it's like people have asked for these remasters for a long time.
right.
But I did see something that was interesting that the remasters will work with all of the current mods that are out there on PC.
Which is super cool,
Yeah,
but super weird.
yeah, yeah, just a little bit.
Uh, I wonder if all the mods are going to work like fluidly.
That would be the question. Like,
Like,
that would be the biggest question is like, what kind of loopholes do I have to jump through to get the mods to work now?
right. So, I guess we'll see. I
Yeah.
mean, it's good for Mass Effect fans that it's being massively distributed in one bundle all over a shitload of consoles.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
Uh, I'm gonna purchase it. I just don't know. Like, I've never played one. Like, I had no interest. One was a 360 PC exclusive. I had never played one. I didn't get one of them until Mass Effect 2, which I got on PS3.
right.
So I played through it, and then I watched somebody play through Mass Effect 3. So I wonder if I just skip 2 again, or skip 1 again and just play 2 and 3. Because I've heard some people say 1 is kind of just a slog. You know, it's just like there's lots of it that's just kind of slow, and and I really enjoyed 2, so I just might jump straight into 2. I don't
I mean, if you're gonna play it on PlayStation,
know.
yeah, I mean it's trophies.
Yeah, that's basically my I'll look at the trophies for Mass Effect 1, like how streamlined they are, because I know the original trophy list, because I don't have the platinum in 2 because 2 had like a playthrough on insanity difficulty or whatever, at the hardest difficulty, and I was like, yeah, I'm not fucking doing that. So
Ain't nobody got time for that.
yeah, I hate difficulty trophies. You say just can't stand difficulty trophies. Like if you want to put like a hard mode playthrough on there, then like put it as a DLC trophy. Like
Right.
a lot of games do. Like the hardest difficulty playthrough will come in a DLC patch later. But yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna grab it probably and give it a go.
Yeah, I'm
But
sure.
it's also that thing where like if something ends up coming out around that time that I'm more interested in, then I will grab the other thing first and come back to that, because I know the price is going to bottom out on it, and I'll be able to get it for $30 before you know it.
Yep.
Uh, so our next bit of news is Resident Evil 8 is going to be an open world game, according to leaks. And according to its Steam page, which lists it as an open world game, which is interesting because all that information comes directly from Capcom.
Um. Okay. So I. What do they mean by open world? Are are they trying to pin it as, oh, we're not making you walk down a strict hallway, so it's open world? Listen, just because you're not in a hallway doesn't mean it's open world,
Uh,
in my opinion. I
no, I think you're going to have the ability to free roam a little bit more. Like if you've ever seen Seven or watched people play Seven, you can move around semi freely in that house, even though the bad guys kind of pushed you in one direction.
yeah.
I expect it to be more open than even that. I would expect there to maybe even be whole encounters that you could absolutely skip over by going this other direction.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Um I'm just very skeptical on that. Now I wonder why that was their direction.
I don't know. I don't know. It's definitely an interesting choice for them.
Mhm.
and we'll just have to wait and see how it turns out.
If if they do like you said and expand on how how 7 was just minorly open and
Mm-hmm.
they just blow that idea up, it's probably going to work really well, but I don't know. I hope the best for them. They're doing really good lately.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. They're funny. The Resident. I saw the other day the Resident Evil 2 remake is the best-selling game in Capcom history.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, they've definitely been doing good. Good for them.
Yep.
I hope it continues.
Same. Even though fuck them for making the remake of 3 terrible.
Well, they're on to the remake of 4 now.
Yeah, but man, three's my favorite. And they ruined it.
Yeah, it just happens sometimes. But yeah, it'd be interesting to, especially with the remake of 4. Like
Oh yeah.
I'm definitely excited to play the remake of 4.
I've never played through 4.
Really?
Never.
I'd actually never played through 3. Like I watched a buddy play through it, but I own 3 now, so it won't take that long from what I'm told. So.
Nope, it won't. And don't worry, you have nothing to fear either
Yeah.
because it, it's not like the second one where you get chased down the entire fucking time.
Yeah. So our next bit of news this week is Capcom, after laying off a bunch of their video game workers and shutting down big parts of their gaming franchises and stuff like that, reaffirms the fact that they are not selling their beloved IPs and that they're still working on video games. And I basically tell you what I felt about this because how I put it in our show notes, I put Capcom is full of crap. Like that is the best way to put it, and that's just how I see it. Like, yeah, they might not be selling straight out selling the IPs, but they are absolutely franchising out their IPs. I don't care what they say.
No, and fuck them. Like I'll be just as blunt as possible. I have wanted a fucking Silent Hill remake for forever, and they have the audacity to say that they're still working on games. No, you're not. You're not working on anything anybody's asked for. I can guarantee that. If you are working on something, just sell your fucking IPs. Let people do your games better than you would in 20 years. Like, I don't know. It's like a whole charade now, really. Like
Yeah,
I don't understand their direction here. Like what are they doing?
yeah, no, it's just one of those weird things where yeah, I don't know why they're trying to lie to people like that about that, and it's I don't know. It's weird to me. Like, why not say, yeah, we're working on some things or something like that? Because it just seems like they're trying to hide something. Like they're trying to hide an announcement that's been being held for one reason or another.
How long?
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Like we've been man, people have been pissed off at Konami about this specifically for years.
yeah,
What fucking announcement do they have? I don't think that at all. I think they're just fucking stupid when it comes to business decisions. Sell a company a portion of the IP, make profits off of that on top of the money you get for the IP,
yeah.
and then start
What
something.
I think is happening.
I hope.
Like,
Ugh,
I think it's Sony.
I hope.
I think they're remaking Metal Gear 1.
I
And
hope.
yeah, and possibly Kojima is working on a Silent Hill game. So.
I hope. I so hope.
Mm-hmm.
But man, like, th- listen, the only reason Konami remained like a name in the modern era is because of Kojima.
Mm-hmm.
And when Kojima left, it just felt like everything they like had
Yeah,
just fell to pieces.
yeah.
Like,
I mean, they've released one game since then. Its Metacritic score is a 38.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't know. Maybe I mean we all know Kojima's a mastermind when it comes to his type of game. Maybe he was just literally the foundation of the entire company at this point.
Well, I mean, but also like they had the Castlevania franchise, and they ran the creator of that off.
Yep.
And they had the Silent Hill franchise, and I don't know anything about the creator of that. I'll be perfect honest, because fuck those games.
But that's why they're good.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever completed a single one of them.
They're terrifying, yeah.
Yeah. And when I played through the PT demo at the end of it, I was just like, "That's fucking cool," but fuck them too. I remember walking through the house that next day, being next to the stairs, and being like, "I don't want to look up the stairs because there could be something standing up there. Let's just keep walking."
Yeah.
Nah,
I don't
fuck
need to
this.
make sure. Yep.
Nah, yeah. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'd rather be, non-committal at this point. But the next bit of news is Microsoft was bragging about their Xbox Live and their numbers and stuff like that. And I think for starters, I'm going to be perfectly honest, I think it's really shitty of them to brag about their Xbox Gold numbers.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of parents out there that, until, probably still are because they never heard the news, still paying for Gold because their kid wants to play fucking Fortnite.
Yep.
So don't brag about that number, okay? Just because your box is a fucking Fortnite box for a bunch of kids doesn't mean shit. Okay.
Yep. And charge people to play a free game.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just one of those things, and they talked about 18 million people on Game Pass. Yeah, that's not bad, but that's also like yeah, of course, a lot of people, like a lot of like core gamers, are going to buy Game Pass because it's not
Yep.
worth buying games on your console.
It's not.
Why would I spend $60 on Forza when you're going to give it to me in Game Pass?
Right, exactly.
And I've had Game Pass now for over a year, and I don't have $60 in Game Pass. I take advantage of every friggin' deal that comes around, and I basically pay for the price of one game a year to keep Game Pass on my Xbox. Yep. And I use it rarely because I rarely use my Xbox. So like the one game that I wanted to play was Medium, and that's only on the new Xbox. It's the Series X's or PC, so I have to come play it on my PC version of it if I want to play it. Like, and before, like, I started my Xbox for the first time the other day, tried to download Medium, found out I couldn't download it on there, came over to the PC, downloaded it over here, and downloaded Sea of Thieves for shits and giggles. Like, like I haven't played that game like in for so long that I'm curious to see what that game's like. So that's basically what Game Pass is. Game Pass to me is a very large library of demos because rarely do I finish a game that's in Game Pass.
Right. Yep.
The only games that I have bought digitally on my Xbox that are on my account are I bought a couple of the Forza games before everything came to Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
I bought Call of Duty Black Ops 3. And I bought the 3 Fable games before Game Pass came out, and I own all 3 of the Dead Space games on there. That's my whole Xbox library. That's it. That's it. Everything else is Game Pass.
Yeah, I mean, and you also you take advantage of the system a little too. So.
Yeah, I do. But if people were, smart enough to catch the deals and like how they give you a free month for setting auto renew and stuff like that whenever you put in a code, then yada yada. And yeah, they could be like, oh, PS Now only has 2.2 million active. Or PS Now does not have nearly the library. And PlayStation, if PlayStation dropped the next God of War first day into PlayStation Now, it would have 3 times the amount of active users than that damn Game Pass does.
Oh yeah, easy.
Yes, absolutely. It's just one of those things where Yeah, Microsoft had numbers to brag about, but I just don't think they were that great of a thing to brag about. The only reason your active player base for Xbox, with gold is that high is because of a bunch of dumb parents.
Yeah.
You know, but
Which I mean, you can't. I mean, they don't know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not like the next time their kid turned on their Xbox, a big message came up and says, "Hey, just to let you know, you no longer have to have games with gold to keep playing your Fortnite and stuff like that." The parents don't know that.
And
Parents only know what their kids tell them. So,
yep. I mean,
but that's enough about that. I ranted for long enough on that. But our next bit of news this week is Magic Legends is getting a beta, and for those who don't know, is Magic the Gathering basically in a Diablo game.
yep.
Actually has one of the old creators of Diablo working on it,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes into beta the 14th of March, I believe.
Yeah. Like I watched the video and it just looks weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know what it is about it, but it does the casting abilities didn't seem fluid to me.
No.
Animation wise,
No.
it seemed very choppy. It almost looked like a copy of Path of Exile that you would find buried in a bin at Goodwill's. Like, and maybe that's like, I don't know, maybe that's too judgmental, but that's what it looked like to me.
But I went ahead and I signed up for the beta.
Of course.
Just to try it. It's
Where,
Magic.
where can I sign up for the beta again?
I believe whenever you clicked on the YouTube video, I think there was a link below it.
Was there? Okay,
Yeah.
I'll go back there real quick because
But
I'll sign up just to bash it more.
but yeah, I just I'll wait and see how I feel about it after the beta. That's the best way to put it.
Well, I mean that was just my
Hmm.
initial.
Oh no,
Opinion.
I wouldn't exactly call myself hyped for it by any stretch of imagination.
Because it doesn't look that great.
Like this has been a very beta week. I signed up for the MLB The Show beta.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah, because they want to test the servers for crossplay on the consoles and stuff too. But I think it's so weird that so many people are freaking out. Like, oh my god, I can't believe it. They finally confirmed that MLB is coming. MLB The Show is coming, even though it's made by Sony. It's coming to Xbox. Like, they confirmed that a year ago. Calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
Like, where the fuck were you a year ago? Whenever they renewed the license, they said the game would be coming to other consoles, and they mentioned Xbox and Switch. Now, as of yet, there's no Switch named release. We'll see how that goes. Like, I imagine it will take time to, take it down to a Switch level. But, I would also think it would be really interesting if they brought it to PC.
Oh yeah, I would love it.
Yeah. MLB The Show is a great franchise, and, well, I mean, it's the only baseball game in the market. It's the only legitimate sim baseball game on the market.
Right.
So, the last time I checked, you can get last year's edition if you didn't get it in PlayStation Plus, which they don't give, which is something they haven't really done in the past, is give out MLB The Show in PlayStation Plus every year. It's only about once every 3 or 4 years do they do that.
Right.
But, it was given out with Plus for a while back, and it's just a big fun game. But I buy it every year, so it comes in a steelbook every year. I buy it every year in a steelbook. That's just how my brain works. It's an addiction, I know.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
I can't blame you.
Yeah.
And also, I just signed up.
Okay. But our next bit of news this week is that Ratchet and Clank got a release date.
Yep.
It's the second week of June, right before when E3 would start, as Sony loves to put out big titles the week before E3. It's their honeypot. It's their sweet spot. They fucking love to do that.
it's like it's their fetish. Like they always do this.
The Last of Us, The Last of Us 2,
Yeah.
this. Oh God, I know I'm missing like a shit ton of other ones that have always been that late May, early June release, right before E3. Sony is like, here, big thing, you know.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure a couple of the Uncharted's hit that timeline. Like, come on now.
It's I don't know. It's their thing, man.
Yeah. It's like they love to go into E3 with the big hot thing of the minute.
Yep. Which I mean is smart. Again,
Yeah, absolutely, it's smart. You know. Also, to me, that I think that would work. They've never done this, but I'd love for them to be like, all right, you know, it's been 2 weeks. You know, The Last of Us has been out. Here's our DLC announcement.
right. Which I would be super for.
Mm-hmm. But you know, but also Sony is very weird that they don't really do DLCs. They don't really do these big, massive, fleshed out or the first
Right.
Last of Us got one. Uncharted is usually multiplayer. Ghost of Tsushima got it's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Free DLC. All the DLC for God of War's been free, but none of that's been story driven. And
Right.
they already said when God of War came out, they weren't doing any story DLC. So
At least they prefaced.
yeah, they've been really good about it. But yeah, so yeah, I expect Ratchet and Clank to be Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet and Clank games are always fun. They always have
Yep.
ridiculous guns. They're always solid platforming. If you love a good platformer, you should try a Ratchet and Clank game. That's the best way to put it.
I was always a Jack and Daxter fan, but
Yes, absolutely.
Beth was a Ratchet and Clank fan, so I'm gonna have to get that for her.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, they a couple of years ago though they remastered the original Ratchet and
Uh huh.
Clank. It's on
Yeah.
PS4, so and you can get it dirt cheap.
Oh yeah.
But our next bit of news this week is something I'm sure you'll talk about here for a minute, and then probably again later on what you've been playing. But
Oh yeah.
Valheim has came out of nowhere, and it's now the new hotness on Twitch
Oh yeah.
and
And
everywhere. They sold 1 million copies in the first week.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it's well worth it. I was bashing the shit out of this game before I bought it
Hmm.
because I figured it would be like every other survival game, but there's something I don't know, there's something different about it. I spent 5 hours building a shitty house last night because the house has structural integrity and it has to be properly supported, all of it,
Hmm.
all of it, or it will fall. It will literally just fall. Um, but I kind of fear for this game too. Um, sure it's huge right now, but the real issue I see is in survival games, the number one thing that happens is its consumers outrun its developers and they're left with nothing to do and it dies. Because the first night we played, we killed one of the bosses. Now I'm not sure how many bosses are in it, but I've heard like 6 or so. If we killed one in one night and we had no clue what we were doing, I have a hard time seeing it past 6 months if the devs don't have something like ready to go.
Hmm.
But starting the building is the funnest building I've ever had. You have to think, you actually have to design something that is structurally sound. The combat is super fun. The boss fight was absolutely beautiful. Um, Swimming is terrifying. There's monsters in the water. For
Oh,
anybody who doesn't know,
I was getting ready to say like, is there stamina or
oh, there is. And if you run out of stamina while swimming, it's not a fun time. Also, you can level up. It has like very RPG esque elements to it as well, where you can level up basically everything you do. Use a shield, you can level your shield skill. You're cutting wood, you can level that skill.
I
You
said
can
that sounds very Fable.
It is.
Very Fable, because I spent a lot of hours cutting wood in that game.
Yep.
And making shit swords for no reason.
Trees can kill you. Um,
But
well,
like,
yeah, you chop a tree down, you're standing in the direction that motherfucker is falling, it will
oh,
crush
okay,
you.
okay. I was like, what? Like, when you said that, I was like, trees will kill you. You mean like I chop it and then I find out that one's alive and it just chokes me the fuck out? Or
It's a mimic, man.
yeah. No, don't. We'll talk about mimics later.
Uh,
Uh,
yeah. Um, but no. You can. We almost had a couple trees crush the house that I spent 5 hours making. So I would have cried and then never did it again.
yeah.
Um, but the boss fights, the first one we did was absolutely beautiful. Um, it's animated amazing. If you even get anywhere near it, a huge red uh health bar pops up on the top of your screen with the name of the boss.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, just running up to the boss, seeing it like just the silhouette of it kind of in the fog in these woods, and then huge AoE lightning storms coming from it was beautiful. Like, I don't know, they really have something here. They just have to stay on it.
Yeah, no, it absolutely sounds like it, and that would be the big thing. Will they continue to stay on it? Will it, become, one of those, 800 other versions of these games?
Yep, see,
Oh,
that's my biggest fear.
yeah, it's just, you know, because, what was the pirate one from a couple of years ago?
Uh, oh,
Chris
Atlas?
and them played it a lot.
Atlas.
Atlas, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, I don't
Dead.
think, I don't, yeah, it's, the game's just dead, dead.
It's
Yeah,
dead.
yeah. But yeah, it looks interesting, and it's at a better price point.
Oh, yeah. Now, one thing I will say
Mm-hmm.
is player model graphic fidelity isn't the best currently. It's very, I guess the best way to say it would be blurry.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the player models aren't the best, but it doesn't really matter. Uh, it the stuff you beat the shit out of is animated and textured very well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I guess the player models weren't a big driving factor for them early on. I'm sure it'll get much better.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I did not realize this, but apparently Atlas is out on Xbox.
God, I bet that game runs like a dumpster fire on Xbox.
Oh, I'm gonna download it. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. Oh,
Yeah, I bet it's terrible.
I bet it is too. I have no doubt. It'll be like the early days of Arc on consoles. Fucking horrendous.
Which it was unplayable.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it still is on Nintendo Switch. Like, on Nintendo Switch, they made like a handful of physical copies, threw them out in the world, and everybody's like, this is shit. And they're like, yeah, peace.
Yep.
And, never fixed it, never fucked with it, and those Switch copies are actually kind of rare now.
Yeah, I mean, as they should be, because
Yeah.
nobody wanted them.
Yeah. But yeah, as I said, it's just my personal hope. Like I said, it is the new hotness on Twitch right now. I have my Twitch open. Sacriel's playing it. Dance Gaming's playing it. Strippin's playing it. Again, Professor Broman's playing it. Vern's Jules is playing it. Classy Katie's playing it. Pretty sure Yui's gonna play it.
And like on top of that, if anybody would watch this and would want to play, we have a server with 64 pop. So yeah, just hit me or him up and he'll direct you to me if you want to
Yep,
play on the server.
absolutely. Anybody wants to play on the server, just hit me up and I will send you in his direction and we'll get you guys set up.
Yep.
But yeah, there's currently 107K viewers on Valheim right now.
It's good, man. It's super good. I think my next journey is going to be to make a raft and go sail the ocean and see what I can find.
I will say that whenever I pulled this up, the top three people playing this game I've never heard of before, and I love that when that happens.
Yep.
I love that when there's a new game that's just a new hotness, and I've never heard of any of these people, and they all have over 10K each.
Oh yeah.
So, of course, sometimes I fall into my own little stratosphere on Twitch, and I'm like, oh yeah, this person, and people are like, oh yeah, man, he's great, he's been around for years. I'm like, I never heard of him. But that's the type of place Twitch is. Sometimes you've just never heard of a dude. You know.
There's so many people on Twitch,
Yeah.
it'd be impossible to have
Yeah.
heard of everyone.
Yeah. But yeah. But our next bit of news this week is EA has said that they're sitting down with the devs that are working on Anthem still.
Speaking of games that are dead.
Mm-hmm. And they're going to look and see what they have. And this week they will either give them the thumbs up to keep going, or they will give them the thumbs down to shut this shit down and get your asses to work on Dragon Age. Is basically what it sounded like to me.
Yeah. And I have mixed feelings on this
Mm-hmm.
because I actually enjoyed Anthem when it launched. It just had no content. The game in itself was pretty fun. But the reason I have mixed feelings is if they give BioWare the people to really do this and relaunch Anthem, it won't get traction in my opinion because it's a name that people are already familiar with that they know has died.
Mm-hmm.
And that's consumerism really in my opinion. Like
Yeah.
nobody's going to look at this game. I already own it. Would I play it again if they revamped it? Yeah, but I don't think they're going to draw new people to buy the game.
It would be tough.
It would be.
uh No Man's Sky was definitely able to do that. People love to use No Man's Sky as the oh, Cyberpunk in a year it's gonna be like No Man's Sky. No, it's not. It's a single player game. Fuck off.
Yep.
This is different. This is a multiplayer game. It very much can do that,
It can.
but they really got to be willing to put in the time and the effort.
It's gonna need a complete rework.
Well, they've been working on it for a year and a half now.
Yeah, yeah, but with what did they say? 30 people? 30 people, I think, was all they had to work on it.
Yeah.
And you're taking something that is literally a dumpster fire and trying to put the fire out and leave it a dumpster to show them.
Well, I think next month the game will have been out 2 years. So you figure post content for like 6 months after that, they still had most of a full team working on it before those people switched over to Dragon Age.
Yep.
So that would tell me that as time has went on, they've just slowly started pulling. Dragon Age is going great. You guys just keep you guys try to figure that out.
And I mean, I guess it really depends on where Dragon Age is in production too, because if they're in, some of the easier sections of their production, uh maybe they won't care as much to give some help to BioWare, but or
Nah,
specifically the Anthem team.
yeah, I'd imagine that the BioWare Dragon Age team is really like in the guts of it right now,
Yeah.
if I had to guess. And this will be the year that they're hoping to get the game out.
Yeah.
And they're going to be making the hard push towards that. And that's why I think the people at EA are looking at this and be like, you know what, the Dragon Age team could really use 30 new other people.
Yeah. That's how I see it going.
Yeah.
And I kind of hate that because it had a ton of potential. And just, I don't know, man. I'm rooting for the game as a whole because I would like to play a somewhat finished product of it, but I just doubt that's gonna happen.
Yeah, like I said, hopefully we know something, and by the time we get together next time, we should know something. Like, something should have leaked out by that point that, they've been moved off or something. But, yeah, so our next bit of news this week is that Tencent, team of people we were just joking about the other day, bought a percentage of the DayZ devs. Yeah, so Tencent basically owns everything.
They do.
I woke up this morning and apparently they own 10% of this podcast, and I didn't even know it.
Yeah.
I just woke up and there was a representative from Tencent standing there at the end of my bed, and he was like, "Gotta do better." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "We'll replace you," and I was like, "But my 90% will buy that too." And I was like, "All right, fair enough."
Um. Well, I guess I have mixed feelings on this too.
Mm-hmm.
DayZ has been an idea for 10 years, basically. It
Mm-hmm.
has been, the standalone has been, I guess, out since 2013. DayZ, in my opinion, is still unplayable. It's shitty. And the only reason it's had a big burst in interest is because Shroud, Summit, a bunch of influencers started playing it here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Bohemia needs to give this game up. If it's taken 10 years from what was initially a mod on
Mm-hmm.
Arma to a standalone piece of shit that has gone nowhere. I would love to know their player base.
I mean, we can look up Steam concurrents, can we not?
I'm not sure.
So I'm showing right now, as of 3 o'clock, there was roughly 24 million people on Steam. Uh, Counter Strike was number one with 737K. 377 for Dota 2, Valheim 340, Rust 160, Source SD. Oh, okay, Source SDK. That's shit. That's GTA Online, isn't it? Source SDK base 2013 multiplayer. Isn't that like the launcher for
That's
the pri
RP. Yeah, it's
yeah,
probably everybody on RP.
RP? Yeah. 111,000 on Apex, 110 on Team Fortress 2, 95 on PUBG, 82,000 on Destiny, 82,000 on Ark, 81 on Rocket League, 78 Football Manager, Path to Exile, Sid Meier's Stardew Valley, Terraria, Dead by Daylight, Among Us, Gary's Mod, Warframe, what the hell? Euro Truck Simulator 2, Skyrim. Skyrim had 30,000 people playing it today. I honestly forgot what fucking game. I was looking for DayZ. Yeah, okay. I found it. It's stuck between Sid Meier's Civilization 5 and Farming Simulator 2019. 26,000. There's more people playing Skyrim today.
Yeah, and that's a single player game.
But then I look and there's like 22 on Arma, 23 on Smite, 23 on Sea of Thieves, RimWorld, Phasmophobia. So those numbers falling. Brawlhalla, Fallout, Monster Hunter World's down to 20,000. VR chat, 16,000 people need to get a life. Tabletop Simulator. I won't say anything bad about that game. We used to play it.
I mean, tabletop's fine.
Yeah, tabletop's fun.
But no. I think my point was made
Mm-hmm.
that you what? How much concurrent they have? Like 23.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you have 23,000 people after 10 years. You are lucky to have that because influencers brought people back.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dead game. Take the money Tencent just threw you and make something fucking different.
More people played Wallpaper Engine today than did than played Daisy.
It okay. Point fucking made. Case closed. Make something different. On too big of a project, and we all knew the game was too good to be true when you fucking dropped it.
Mm-hmm. Look at Terraria and Stardew just sitting there fighting each other. Now I'm just lost in the numbers. Give me a minute, guys.
No, take your time.
I wonder if there's a CS:GO tournament this weekend because their peak today was over 1 million people.
I'm sure. I mean, Rocket League has a tournament going on right now.
Numbers aren't great on Rocket League though. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were 94,000.
Well, the thing is, you also have to look at Epic on that too.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I don't think there's a way for us to look at Epic numbers.
I don't either. But the RLCS tournament going on right now on Twitch has 49.6 thousand viewers.
Epic Games concurrent players. Yeah, no, see, yeah, that you can't. I can apparently get Fortnite numbers for the day. Oh no, no, as of wow, yeah, those aren't even up there. 350 million players have played Fortnite. That's all it says. Yeah, no, you're useless. Thank you. Uh,
But yeah, fuck, fuck you, Bohemia. I had much faith in your game probably 6 years ago, but now I just don't.
yeah. So, our last bit of news for this week is Activision swung the fucking ban hammer hard in Call of Duty Warzone and fucking slammed that shit down, banning 60,000 accounts at one time for cheating. And I'm glad they did it. Like that's ridiculous that it's gotten to that point that, that people are cheating that much that you had to ban 60, and that's only the 60,000 that got caught.
Right.
Yeah, that's always the number, and people are always like, "Wow, that's a really low." No, you understand? Those are the people that got caught. Okay, there's plenty of people out there fucking cheating that fucking never got caught.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And I'm gonna say this outright. Again, I have mixed feelings on this. Good for them for cracking down on hackers, but bad on them for waiting this fucking long to do anything about it.
Yeah.
You are a competitive
Yeah.
shooter. The hard quotations on competitive. Um,
I mean, they did just have a tournament this past weekend.
they sure. Um,
Listen, man.
I'm just saying, why does it take this long for a massive company to figure out how to do mass ban on accounts? Like this should be a weekly update. Hey, we banned 3,000 players this week. Next week, we banned 10,000. Like, I don't know.
See, and that's one of the things that I'm glad they were doing. But now look, when Bungie was connected with Activision, Bungie still doesn't fucking ban people. Like, they're trials. They're competitive. You want to really put some quotations around competitive. Fucking Trials of Osiris competitive play every weekend is a hot fucking mess full of hackers. They don't do shit.
Yeah, no, like it's what I don't get. Like if you're gonna put millions and millions of dollars into your game, you should ensure your players have a good time playing it and don't get shit on by cheaters.
Yeah.
PUBG, I'm looking at you.
Well, they've swung the ban hammer several times, so haven't they? Or are they at the point now where they just don't care?
Well, I mean, most of them are bots now,
Yeah.
anyway, so it doesn't matter. The NA servers are a desolate, vast, open, like.
So you're saying I should go play some on
I
the
mean,
internet?
hop in a car and just drive and run people over.
I used to do that back in the day before they, made the before they made the buildings hard to destroy with the car.
Right, or when you could drive directly through them because the map hadn't loaded in yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
good times.
Good times. I remember those times.
Yeah, me too.
Be like, he got a gun, I got a car. Let's see who wins.
And you know what's crazy is that sounds so much like DayZ issues to me.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how far we progress, ladies and gentlemen, we'll always have a game that has the same shitty fucking problems.
Yep. But that's all our normal news for this week. So, what you been playing?
A lot of Tarkov. Really into Tarkov lately. I feel myself getting better at the game slowly. It is a grind, and I enjoy Tarkov because it's a life lesson. It teaches you to be humble when when something fucks you in the ass. So like life, it teaches you how to accept life.
Yeah.
Um, but Rocket League here and there, not a ton. I'm slowly getting away from it, guys. Look, I'm dealing with my addiction. Um, I played some Valheim, uh, which I talked about pretty in depth earlier. I
Yeah.
won't go so much into it. And I've been playing Bloodborne, which makes me rage uncontrollably, and not because the game is too hard, because I don't fucking understand the mechanic. And I'm trying. Fuck the parry on Bloodborne.
Yeah. But so here for me, I've been playing Control again, finishing that up. Uh, going to play through some of the DLC. I have one trophy away from having the platinum trophy, and it's something that if I would have started working at it early in the game, I'd be done with it already. But I didn't, so now I have to spend hours going. Okay, which there's these things called board adjustments or something. Basically, you have to go around and kill certain things in a certain way,
Mhm.
or sometimes in a certain area, which is hard because now that I've beaten the game, less creatures spawn in general.
Right.
So I just basically have to go. Oh, and no, I can't do that one. There's no snipers left. No, I can't do that one. All right, yeah, I'll accept this one. No, I can't do that one. Okay, yeah, because it only spawns like 5 at a time, and to get rid of one, you have to accept it and then abandon it to make it go away, so something will take its place. So
Right.
I spend 10 minutes trying to find 3 or 4 that I could put together at one time and do it one time, and then spend the rest of the time running around looking for things to shoot. And I have to do this 25 times. I have to do 25 of those things.
That's
And
awful.
on the 10th, I got the trophy for having 5 of them done. I don't know how many I've done since then, but I know I did 8 today before we started the podcast. So as
Nice.
far as I know, I'm at 13. Yeah,
Well, 12 more.
12 more to go if it doesn't bug out on me.
Let's hope not.
And the thing that sucks is there's no way to track it in game. There's not a menu I could go to and be like, yeah, you've done 18 of those.
Wow. So you just kind of have to keep an internal count. That
Yes.
sucks.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah. That
Or just do them until that trophy pops up.
basically what I'm going to keep doing. I'm just going to be like, and
Yep.
this one says Pierce kills. I can go to do Pierce kills. All right. I know one area where creatures spawn every time, so I'll just go there and shoot them. This one would be like, go kill things down in containment and be like, oh, now I have to run around containment for 20 fucking minutes looking for something to spawn.
Yep. That's rough.
But yeah, that, you've been playing Bloodborne. I've been playing Dark Souls 3.
Nice.
I'm up to, I killed the Crystal Witch, and that's been interesting. Uh, Anybody, I don't know if I've ever talked about my original Dark Souls 3 experience on the podcast before. But when the week that Dark Souls 3 came out, I rented the game out of a red box because I'd never played a Dark Souls game before, didn't know how I'd be able to take it. Uh, got into the first area, took the right where the little optional boss is that you're not supposed to fuck with, and
Yep.
he shit on me. And I
Yep.
was okay with that, and I was like, all right, first death, whatever. I know I'm gonna die a lot. People die hundreds of times completing this game.
Yep.
And then I went on to the first boss, killed the first boss first time, no problem. I was like, oh, that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad at all. Went into the Firelink Shrine and around that area, killed the optional boss there. Well, he fell off a cliff. That's how I killed him. And ran around Firelink Shrine for about 45 minutes trying to figure out how do I get to the next area.
Yep.
And I was like, man, this is so weird. And I was like, finally, you know what, man? I just give up. I'm just gonna go over to the bonfire and light the bonfire and sit at it. I think that's how I save in the game. So I go over and I sit at the bonfire and I see it says travel, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, so I needed to sit down at the bonfire and travel to the next location. I
Oh
did
yeah.
not know that. So I felt like an asshole. And needless to say, I took it back to Redbox the next day. I was like, nah, fuck this game. After I figured out that that's what I needed to do, I just shut the game off and deleted it.
Right. Yeah. Fuck
Yeah,
this.
yeah, like I uploaded the save to the cloud for shits and giggles and deleted it. And last year, I, because you know me and I love shiny things,
Oh yeah.
they released the Dark Souls trilogy in this very nice steelbook, and it has all the games and all the DLC. And I was like, people were like, oh, maybe you should play it from the beginning and work your way forward. I was like, I already technically started 3. I guess I'll go ahead and start 3. But it's like, it doesn't matter. The story in Dark Souls doesn't freaking matter. Nobody cares.
I kind of do.
So.
You got to do a lot of digging for it, but
Yeah,
some
exactly. Like it's not there. It doesn't hit you in the face. There's not a cutscene, for 90% of it. You have to, go find this scrap of paper in the far corner, and
you say that, but you also play Destiny.
yeah, that's true. Yeah. No, that's true. In that game, they're like, "Oh, you want to read about the story? Go online."
Yeah, go online and find these.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Once you find the grimoires in the game, once you find like the dead ghosts and stuff in game, it adds grimoires to your account, and then you can go online and read the grimoire. At least now in Destiny 2, they're actually in the fucking game.
Yeah.
But still, in Destiny
But
1, that was annoying.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, yeah. But
But good for you going back to Dark Souls 3.
yeah, and I think 100% sure on this. I think I'm gonna try and platinum it. I know like leveling some of that stuff can be kind of dumb and crazy, and we're gonna get through it, and we're gonna see how it goes. Is the best way I could say it.
Just make me a promise and fight Forsaken King.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I have all the DLC too. So
Well, Forsaken King
is
is
it's like the last boss or second to last boss or something, isn't it?
it's optional.
Or is he completely optional?
Yep.
Okay.
But I hate that motherfucker. So have fun.
Okay. But yeah, I played those. Of course, I played a little bit of Genshin. Of course, and then trying to think. I don't think of. Oh, well, I streamed MTG Arena last night. Oddly enough, yesterday I was just sitting here, kind of bored, and was just looking for something to space out on, kill some time. And I was like, I haven't played Arena in forever. Like I had logged in back like when the last set came out, Zendikar Rising,
Mm-hmm.
and I had bought some of the codes from the pre-release packs from all the sets that have been out since I played. Got like for like $15 or something. I basically got like 30 packs of in-game cards off of eBay, and then I opened all those up and I just started building a deck, and I was like, let's see what's like standard. Let's see what's the hotness in standard right now. And I looked around and I was like a blue black rogue mill deck, and I was like, you sir have my attention. And so I built that, and I played a couple of times that day and hadn't touched it since until yesterday. And yesterday I went 17-6, just grinding out games for shits and giggles. And finally, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stream it for a little while. Why the hell not?
Not a bad call.
No,
And Mel kind of perked my ear up too. So
nah. Yeah, it was, just nice to, see what Magic was like these days. And a new set did like just come out this like past week. That's all Viking, Norse, heavy metal kind of vibe to it, and it's got some cool stuff in it. But I'm still rocking the blue black Rogues deck. It's still a respected deck in standard, from what I'm told. So, but yeah, I think that's pretty much all I played this week.
yeah, that's a lot though.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so Control has these crazy points sometimes in it where the game just gets incredibly fucking hard and frustrating. It's just like, oh, okay, a random wave of 10 dudes. That's not too bad to handle. I'll be down to like half health or something like that. And then like you get towards the end and it's like here's 10 dudes and here's 10 dudes and here's 10 dudes and here's 10 dudes, and just to be
Yep.
sure we're going to throw 5 more at you at the end just to make sure you don't have any health. And it has parts where it got frustrating, and they basically went through when they released the Ultimate Edition for PlayStation 5. They patched both of them across, and basically went and added cheats to the game. They're like, yeah, we know our difficulty can be spiky and stuff sometimes, so instead of fixing it, we're just going to give you the ability to, turn on one-shot kills, or infinite energy, or invincibility. And I just turned on one-shot kills.
Right.
Yeah, because you get the machine gun. You turn your gun to machine gun mode, you get like 30 bullets, you can wipe out a whole room. So I was like, screw it. But yeah, I beat that game and I'm still not sure what that game's about.
Yeah. Yeah. I can honestly say I've noticed the difference in skill jump. I watched a buddy stream it a while ago, and
Mm,
you would one room not too bad, next room hell.
yeah.
So it's very odd.
Yeah, yeah, and it's weird that like they acknowledge it, but instead of
Yeah,
fixing it, they're just like, "Nah, we're just going to give you cheats that don't disable trophies, and achievements." So
I mean, maybe they wanted to keep the game how they envisioned it.
I
I mean, and I
guess,
get
yeah.
that, and they at least they give you an option to make it easier.
Mm. But yeah, yeah, yeah. It's nice that they finally did it. And the second DLC is like Alan Wake based
Hmm.
because it's set in the same universe, made by the same people. So that was kind of neat.
It is cool.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing this week. So, as everybody knows, at the end of each podcast, we always do a top five. This week, we're going to be doing our top five RPGs.
Yeah.
Anybody that watched the show before knows that I like to put restrictions on myself when it comes to this. And my restriction is if a game's made another list before, I tend not to add it to another list.
Right.
So, these will be, and also, a lot of people are going to expect a lot of PS1 like error games and stuff because that was the height of RPGs, but I didn't really play those back then, and what ones I did play have already been mentioned on the show. So, why don't you go ahead and start us off with your number five?
So mine are in no specific order. This is really hard to choose because all of these games had like an impact on me in some form or fashion.
Oh yeah, and
Um,
no wait, before you start though, we should go ahead and say these are any game that we consider RPG elements. These are not just like
yes.
straight RPGs. They're not JRPGs. They're not ARPGs. They're whatever a game with RPG elements.
Yeah, use RPG as a blanket statement. That's what we're doing.
Yes.
Um, so my first one is Pokemon Red, the OG
Mm-hmm.
to me. I will still go back and play Pokemon Red today. It's the reason I still buy and play Pokemon games today. It's the reason I want to get back into collecting Pokemon cards, as weird as that is. Um, but no, I mean Pokemon Red's just one of those OG games. If you haven't played it, go back and play it. I know it's not as fancy as the new Pokemon games, but it has that rustic appeal. And you can see why people fell in love with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, my number five. Funny now. So my number five is Destiny.
Of course.
Original Destiny, not Destiny
Of,
2.
of course.
Destiny. It's very much so a game that if you go to timewastedindestiny.com, I have like 700 or 800 hours in it, and yeah, it was a game that I enjoyed very much. There are things I miss about original Destiny that I had been wish had been brought to Destiny 2, but unfortunately they weren't. But yeah, that's basically all I got to say about it. So what do you got for your number four?
World of Warcraft. Um, it was the MMORPG that I sold my soul to growing up. I played from vanilla through Wrath probably every day of my life, multiple hours of my life. Um, World of Warcraft, and I'm one of those weird guys that love just glitching the fuck out of the game, and they took all that out, so it upset me.
Uh,
It's probably half the reason I don't really play anymore. Um, but no, World of Warcraft is definitely top on my list. It's probably why I can't enjoy another MMORPG. So yeah.
So my number four is Nino Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. I'm a huge Studio Ghibli fan, and the art and everything in this game was designed by that studio. But it's just a great little RPG where you kind of collect monsters. It's almost Pokemon, very Pokemon like, very Pokemon like, but also a lot of fun. And if anybody who hasn't played it, I would recommend it to them in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah.
So, what do you got for your number three?
Neverwinter Nights. Neverwinter Nights is probably in my top 5 favorite games of all time. Um, it's what introduced me into the D&D world. If you're not aware, all of the entire game is based solely off of the D&D stat rolls,
Mm-hmm.
things such as that, multi-classing and classing. Um, great story, and that's I'm not including the base game or not excluding the base game, but the two expansion packs were amazing as well. Hordes of the Underdark and Shadows of something, I can't remember. That game's so old. Um, I still have the cases put up somewhere. But yeah, Neverwinter Nights was like that first MMO RPG I played on a server. So
Okay, so my number three is Mass Effect 2. I did enjoy Mass Effect 2. Uh, it it was my entry point to the story for those games, like I said, and I put a lot of time into that game. Like
oh yeah.
I did every friendship quest. I tried to romance everybody the game would let me. Like I did not care. I enjoyed the hell out of that game. And played through the section where you go through the wormhole and like parts of your crew can stuff and die if you didn't do like friendship quests or do things a certain way. I made sure I did everything correctly in that game to where I did not lose crew members in that. But yeah, no, that was an amazing game, and it is like the sole reason that I will buy that remaster collection is too.
Oh yeah.
So, but what do you have for your number two?
So this is gonna be controversial.
Okay.
Uh, um, but Dungeons and Dragons. Fuck everybody who says it's not an RPG game.
No,
Um,
it very much so is. Like it's basically what every RPG is based off of Dungeons and Dragons.
Um, for those of you that don't know, I've been running a D&D campaign for the past little bit, and most of my players are new players, which I've had experience before playing, but I've never really DM'd. But we've all had a super great time. If anything, it's a way for to get family members and friends close during a pandemic to
Yeah,
just chill at the house and
yeah,
play a game that everybody can have fun with in their own way, and that's the important part.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely. So my number two is Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. KOTOR is just one of those classic. It was the reason I bought an Xbox. You know, it, I was perfectly like Fable wasn't out at that point. I was like, man, I really want to play that Fable game, but it's not gonna be out for like another year. So I'm gonna buy an Xbox. And when I bought it, I bought KOTOR and Counter Strike. I think
Oh
were the
yeah.
games that I bought with it that day.
Nobody can blame you for KOTOR.
Yeah.
Uh,
No,
it,
no, that's a great game, and I wish like I kind of played like a middle of the road character,
mm-hmm.
and I wish I would have fleshed out a little bit more than what I did. Like I wish I would have like went like hard good or hard evil one way or the
Right.
other. And that's it's a game I can go back to now and play it anytime I want. So it's on PC, so maybe I need to give that a try at some point.
Yeah. I actually played KOTOR online. I can't remember how I did it. Um, but it was on PC. I actually joined a clan and everything. I had to go through trials to actually become a Sith with the saber type I chose.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually had like a training regiment, and then had to defeat a master to even become what I was looking for. It was like an RP server. It was super weird, but they
Yeah.
were all chill. Um, yeah, it's a
Hmm.
good game.
Yeah. So what do you got for your number one?
Well, again, no specific order here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but Final Fantasy X. Final Fantasy X was the first Final Fantasy I played by myself,
Mm-hmm.
and just dove into because it interested me. Now, 9 is my favorite I've ever played, but I also played that with my cousin. You know, you land back in the day was many things.
Mm-hmm.
Like like most of the time you're enjoying a story driven game with your friend sitting on a couch with snacks and Mountain Dew or whatever you're drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Um and Final Fantasy X was that first like hard story driven game that I sat down and that was single player and played for myself. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why it's probably why I really enjoy Final Fantasy games as a whole now.
Makes sense. 100% makes sense. Mute my phone and but my number one is Paper Mario. Now,
Never played it.
okay, yeah. So a lot of people thought like, oh, you mean like the SNES? No, not the SNES one. I've actually never played that because the SNES one was made by Square. No,
Yeah.
yeah, Paper Mario. The first game came out on a Nintendo 64 in 2000. It was one of those late window Nintendo 64 games. It's an awesome game. They've made many a sequel since then. They're always very nice. I've got the one for the Switch. I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, no, there's just something about a not overly complicated RPG that I
Yeah.
enjoyed. It was the great story, diverse list of character, yeah, plenty of different things to choose from in an RPG without beating you over the head of like, oh, why did you put this much intellect into this one thing and you should have put this here? And it's just like, ugh, I don't care.
Yeah, it doesn't browbeat you with mechanics and stuff like that. I need to go back and play it.
Yeah, yeah, no, they're very much so a lot of fun, and I would recommend them to anybody. So, yeah, but no, that is our top fives for this week, and that's our show.
Yeah.
So, thanks for everybody that stopped by in the stream, and everybody that'll watch later on YouTube and stuff.
Hmm.
And thanks for everybody stopping by, and have a good week.
Yep. Take care.